Imagine walking through a snowy field, spotting a herd of shaggy, long-tusked creatures, woolly mammoths, alive again after thousands of years. For centuries, this was pure fantasy, but now science is on the verge of making it real. The idea of de-extinction, reviving extinct species, has moved from science fiction to a genuine scientific pursuit. Unlike dinosaurs, mammoths left behind frozen bodies in Siberia with skin, hair, and even blood, preserving their DNA. DNA is life's instruction manual, and by decoding mammoth DNA, we might rebuild the animal itself. Today, powerful tools like artificial intelligence, AI, are accelerating this process. AI acts as a super smart assistant, helping scientists read ancient, damaged DNA and understand what made mammoths unique. The dream of seeing a living mammoth is closer than ever, thanks to these technologies. But how do we go from a frozen fossil to a living animal? The process is complex and full of challenges. It requires understanding mammoth DNA, editing the DNA of their closest living relative, the Asian elephant, and creating a mammoth-like embryo. This journey is part detective work, part engineering, and all cutting-edge science. Let's dive into how scientists are turning this incredible dream into reality. The adventure begins with the science of de-extinction. De-extinction isn't magic. It's advanced science using genetics and biology. The goal is to use ancient DNA to create a living organism similar to an extinct species. Ancient DNA is usually damaged, so scientists can't make perfect clones. Instead, they create hybrids, modern animals like elephants, genetically modified to have mammoth traits. This is genetic engineering, editing the DNA letters to swap in mammoth genes for things like thick fur and cold resistance. The result isn't a pure mammoth, but an Asian elephant with mammoth-like features, a proxy species. These animals could fill the same ecological roles as their extinct relatives. De-extinction is about using the past to build a new future for ecosystems. The most realistic approach is combining ancient DNA with modern technology. It's a bold plan, and it all starts with the ancient DNA itself. Next, let's see how scientists piece together this genetic puzzle. The journey from fossil to living animal begins with decoding ancient DNA. That's where the real challenge starts. The first step in de-extinction is recovering DNA from extinct animals. Mammoths are ideal because their bodies were frozen, preserving hair, skin, and muscle for thousands of years. But ancient DNA is like a shredded, water-damaged book, fragmented and mixed with DNA from bacteria and fungi. Scientists must extract all DNA from a sample, then separate mammoth DNA from contaminants. They use the Asian elephant genome as a reference, matching mammoth fragments to their correct spots. This is a massive, complex puzzle, billions of genetic letters to sort and assemble. For years, this painstaking process was the biggest obstacle to de-extinction. Reading a complete extinct genome seemed nearly impossible, but now artificial intelligence is transforming the field. AI can analyze and assemble ancient DNA much faster and more accurately than ever before. It's revolutionizing how we read the genetic stories hidden in frozen remains. With AI, the dream of reconstructing a mammoth's genome is finally within reach. Next, let's see how AI acts as a super smart DNA detective. The future of de-extinction depends on this digital breakthrough. Artificial intelligence is a game changer for ancient DNA research. AI acts like a detective, sorting through millions of DNA fragments to find patterns and assemble the mammoth genome. It cleans up messy samples, separating mammoth DNA from bacteria and other contaminants in record time. Using the Asian elephant genome as a map, AI lines up mammoth fragments and predicts missing pieces, like a spell checker for DNA. This gives scientists a much clearer, more complete genetic blueprint. AI also pinpoints the genes that made mammoths unique: shaggy coats, small ears, thick fat, and cold-resistant blood. Identifying these key genes is crucial for the next step, editing living DNA. AI doesn't just help us read the mammoth's instruction book, it helps us understand which chapters matter most. With this knowledge, scientists are ready to build a mammoth-like animal. Let's see how they do it. With key mammoth genes identified, scientists use CRISPR, a gene editing tool, to transform elephant cells. CRISPR acts like molecular scissors, cutting out elephant genes and inserting mammoth versions for traits like thick hair, fat layers, small ears, and cold-resistant blood. Dozens of edits turn an elephant cell into one carrying mammoth-like instructions. The edited cell's nucleus is placed into an elephant egg cell, which is then stimulated to start dividing, creating a mammoth-like embryo. The embryo could be implanted in a surrogate Asian elephant, or in the future, grown in an artificial womb. Artificial wombs are still experimental, but could one day safely nurture these embryos. The process is complex and risky, but it's the closest we've come to reviving an extinct giant. Each step brings us closer to seeing a living, breathing, mammoth-like creature. But mammoths aren't the only candidates for revival. Let's explore other species scientists hope to bring back. The science of de-extinction is bigger than just one animal. It's a global quest. The woolly mammoth isn't the only extinct species scientists are targeting. The passenger pigeon, once numbering in the billions, is being revived using DNA from museum specimens and its closest living relative, the band-tailed pigeon. The thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, is another candidate, thanks to preserved specimens and its relative, the numbat. The Pyrenean ibex, a wild goat extinct since 2000, was briefly revived through cloning, proving de-extinction is possible, even if the first attempt failed. Each project faces unique challenges, from finding good DNA to editing the right genes. The goal is to restore lost species to their ecosystems, whether it's forests, grasslands, or wild Tasmania. All these efforts rely on ancient DNA, modern relatives, and advanced genetic tools like CRISPR and AI. The mammoth may be the poster child, but de-extinction is a much broader scientific movement. It's about reversing extinction and reimagining our relationship with nature. But why bring these animals back at all? Let's look at the case for de-extinction. The debate goes far beyond curiosity. De-extinction isn't just about seeing mammoths. It could help restore ecosystems and fight climate change. Mammoths were ecosystem engineers, shaping the landscape by knocking down trees and fertilizing grasslands. Their return could revive the mammoth steppe, a vast grassy habitat. Trampling snow, mammoths could help keep permafrost frozen, preventing the release of greenhouse gases. De-extinction also drives scientific innovation, pushing advances in genetics, cloning, and artificial wombs. These breakthroughs could help endangered species by boosting genetic diversity and resilience. Gene editing might even help living animals adapt to climate change or disease. There's also a moral argument. Humans caused many extinctions, and de-extinction could be a way to make amends. It's a symbol of hope, showing we can restore, not just destroy nature. Supporters see de-extinction as a tool for healing ecosystems, advancing science, and taking responsibility for our impact. But not everyone agrees. The ethical debate is just as important as the science. Should we bring extinct animals back? Let's explore the big questions. The conversation is far from settled. De-extinction raises tough ethical questions. Would a resurrected mammoth-like animal live a healthy, happy life, or suffer in a changed world? Introducing ancient species could disrupt modern ecosystems, outcompete native animals, or spread new diseases. Some argue we should focus on saving endangered species, not reviving extinct ones. De-extinction projects are expensive. Should those resources go to conservation instead? Creating a single animal isn't enough. We'd need a self-sustaining, genetically diverse population. The risks and unknowns are huge, and the moral debate is ongoing. Are we playing God or righting past wrongs? Before taking the final step, we need a global conversation about what's right for the planet. The future of de-extinction depends on more than just science. It's about values and choices. Will we share our world with mammoths again? Science is advancing fast, and a mammoth-like embryo could be created within decades. But the birth of one animal is just the start. The real challenge is building a thriving, wild population. Success will require long-term commitment, funding, and international cooperation. The future of de-extinction may be less about perfect copies, and more about using ancient genes to help living species adapt and survive. This genetic rescue could strengthen biodiversity in a changing world. The dream of the mammoth forces us to rethink our relationship with nature and our responsibilities as stewards of Earth. Whether or not herds of mammoths roam again, the quest is teaching us about genetics, evolution, and the web of life. The story of de-extinction is just beginning. We all have a role in shaping what comes next. The conversation continues. What kind of future do we want to create? The answer is up to us.